Hi, my name is Destiny, and today we're going to look at modes of inheritance of traits through a fictitious family that most of us all know and love. So, the Griffins from the popular running show Family Guy has entertained us for over a decade. And instead of watching Peter fight with a human-sized chicken or their other ridiculous antics, I believe we can use them as an example to learn about inheritance. One feature of them that I'd like to look at in depth that I believe is very prominent is their noses. So due to the nature of their beings, I believe it is safe to assume that their pointy noses is dominant to that of their round noses, and you'll see why later. This family tree is a little blurry, but I hope their faces are still able to be made out, or hopefully you guys know their faces from memory. Side note, I'm going to omit Brian and his family line as he's the family's dog and wouldn't be able to count. So based on the family tree and the dominant allele, I've created a pedigree. The shaded shapes are all those of the recessive rounded nose shape and will take on little p, little p. Those that are not shaded are either big P, or heterozygous big P, little p. Now let's take a look at modes of inheritance. Starting with one that I believe can be ruled out immediately is the Y-linked inheritance. This cannot be, as Stewie has a pointy nose and therefore lets us know that rounded noses are not linked to males. Next, X-linked recession can also be ruled out as it is broken at nearly every generation. For example, Meg would be recessive following the pedigree as she isn't shaded, but that cannot be because she is supposed to inherit a dominant X from Peter. Now looking at possibilities of modes, X-linked dominance is a possibility as we have a good mix of homozygous recessive and heterozygous genotypes to compensate for the mix. Finally, we have the autosomal mode, which works in dominance but not recession. If we keep our pointy noses dominant, each genotype checks out. If we were to flip it and make pointy noses recessive, it fails at Carol and Adam as they both be homozygous recessive, but their son has some form of a dominant allele as his nose is round and his pedigree square is shaded. And these are my references.